Hey buddies, Mistfuggy here coming at you another Wonderland news video. Today I want to talk about enchantments and what they exactly are. So many of you guys know they're basically a return to anointments from Borderlands 3, but don't be scared by that because I know a lot of people have a negative opinion about anointments, but fret not, they are very toned down variants of the anointments that we'll talk about and discuss in a few moments here. It's going to be a good thing, trust me. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch and on top right. You have no idea how much helps me out, and let's get into it.
Legendary? Whoa! No way, dude!
So first things first, for those of you that don't even know what anointments or enchantments are, pretty much they are confirmed to be an additional stat that spawns on your spell, melee, and guns. They cannot spawn on rings or amulets as far as we're aware, and armor as far as we're aware. They start spawning after level 15, and they actually have different values depending on what level the gear you got was when it was enchanted. The enchantment values will be different depending on the gear level of the gear that you have. So if you have, right off the bat, when they spawn at level 15, they're going to have a different value than they would if they spawned at level 20, and we would assume till level 30 and 40, but we don't have 100% confirmation on that because the highest level that anybody has ever gotten on the demo, as far as I'm aware, and as far as the official Wonderlands Discord is aware, was 26 by K6. And speaking of K6, a lot of these images that I'm going to show here in a few moments are actually going to be from K6 stream that he streamed just about yesterday. And once again, fair warning, if you don't want to be spoiled by anything on Wonderlands, you probably shouldn't have even clicked on this video, so fair warning there in case you want to know. A Reddit user by the name of AA Hill had actually compiled a list of enchantments that we've actually seen spawn at level 15, and they have the level 15 values on these enchantments. I keep wanting to say anointments. Now, we're not sure if these are exclusive to melee, ward, spells, or guns. And I forgot to mention earlier, I think I only said that they spawned on melee, spells, and guns, but they also spawn on wards as well, which is this game's version of shield. So we're going to have 4 anointment slots this time, which is an additional anointment slot that we did not actually have in Borderlands 3. So that's very exciting. Going to allow us to min-max even further, which is very exciting. So you can see here, the list of all known gear enchantments are on spell cast, increased melee, ability, gun, and in general damage dealt. You're going to see a lot of damage dealt as we go down the list. There's luckily a generic, which everyone loves generic. Everyone has used on grenade throw, global increased damage on Borderlands 3. So I feel like this is going to be a very favorable enchantment to get. Next as well, we have spellcast increase element damage, which is then going to increase a specific element damage overall, but this is only for 5 seconds. So it's a bit interesting how they wanted to maximize and minimize that, but let's continue. Next, we have action skill start, gun, melee, global, spell, and status effect damage right there, and chance. So if you wanted to freeze targets quicker or get a dark magic dot on them to start healing quicker, you want to use that. And then finally, we have, while action skill is active, increase elemental damage of a certain element by 10%, and one generic here that increases all elemental damage, which is way more favorable in my opinion, unless you're going for a strict element based build that is only one element, which is possible. It's very possible as well that these aren't all the enchantments that are available. This is a very small list of enchantments, and we know that Borderlands 3 had a large anointment list, and albeit it would be great to have a stat squish, it feels like there could be some missing because we don't have any action skill end, but perhaps they don't want any action skill end. Once again, this is from the demo, so not every single thing that we're seeing here is absolutely 100% final, but we can still use this to speculate that value that I was talking about a few moments ago. So you saw all of these have very low values at 6%. The highest I can see here is a 10% from a specific element damage, but these values actually increase, as I said before, based on the level of the gear that spawns with it. So I'm going to show some screenshots, as I said before, from K6 stream. This is a level 26 enchantment. It's a very blurry picture. I took it on my phone. Sorry about that. But it says enchantment on spellcast increased melee damage by 12%, which is 2 times the amount that we saw at level 15 from this enchantment. All these enchantments that we have here on this list is from level 15 gear. So that means that as soon as it hits level 26, we're going to see the value increase by 2 times. But I suspect that it's going to increase at level 20 because we're also seeing double value from the original list to this enchantment at level 24, and we can see that this enchantment is once again action skill start increase gun damage by 16%, which is right here. And so we have 8% from a level 15 gear, and then we have a level 24 gear at 16%. My first thought was, okay, so each level is going to change the value, but it looks like the enchantments are going to change in value at certain thresholds. Right now, we currently have a level 24, and all my other examples are level 24, but then we look at a level 26, and it has the same exact increase. So I suspect that enchantments are going to hit certain thresholds and have a multiplier based on its original value to increase the enchantment. So once you get to level 40, it's possible that this increased melee damage, since we saw it increase at 6% on each threshold, assuming each threshold is level 15, 20, 30 to 40. And I know 15 sounds like a weird threshold, but we're going to consider 15 as part of the 10 group. So level 10, 20, 30, and 40, despite technically enchantments not spawning at 10, but please go with me on this. We could then speculate that this final damage increase on the enchantment would be 24%, which is a bit of a weird value, but if we're following the math trends, that's what it would be. Currently, I couldn't find any gear or any player that hit level 30 during the demo and has an enchantment screenshot. If you guys know of any, I would love to know it in the comments. But because of that, we can only go based on a threshold trend from level 15 to 20 to 26. So unfortunately, this isn't 100% proof that this is the formula they're going to use to allow enchantments to increase in value, but I really do suspect it's going to increase in value every digit in the 10th place. So it's 10, 20, 30, and 40 is my suggestion. And if you were to use that trend and for some reason we got a level cap to level 50, all of these enchantments would be in a nice little common value percentage that we like. So this increased melee damage by 12% would then be increased melee damage by 30% at level 50 if we get that level cap. But that's completely headcanon at that moment. And I believe we got confirmation that these enchantments can actually stack despite them being the same effect, but we only got that on the demo, so it's possible when the game goes live that it's not going to actually stack, but they stack. And as far as we're aware, none of these enchantments are specific to a piece of gear, which probably will be the case eventually, but it's quite possible we could stack 4 of this particular enchantment on each piece of slot, which is spell, ward, melee, and gun at max level, aka 40, and have 24% times 4, which means we could, in theory, increase our melee damage by a total of 96%, which is almost a 100% increased value, which is great. But as you can see here, all the values are very low. They're not going to make or break your build, but for min-maxing, of course, it's going to be very important. But this video was really just to capitalize that we did get confirmation of these enchantments. It's very exciting. And if you're a naysayer of anointments, please don't worry about it. It's not going to matter as much as it did in Borderlands 3. And you can't just steamroll through the game with a really good anointment, because anointments do change value based on the level of the gear, which is excellent. And as always, a big shout out to the members who make these videos possible. We have Jace Noodles, Clairvoyant, 31bar70, and Rick Iglesias. These are the people who support me as little as $5 a month, and you can also support me as little as $5 a month by clicking the link in the comments and description or on the top right to become a member. The more members we have, the closer I get to becoming full-time, which means more videos for you guys. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him out with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.